Yeah, I just woke up this morning and this topic came into my mind for us to discuss today because of what is going on in the lives of most of us. Today, we would like to talk about something very important in our lives and that is really causing a lot of problems. Let's talk about stress and look at what causes stress and look at the risk. What could happen to us when we are overstressed and possibly how we can control or manage it. It's important looking at the economic situation of our country now, especially in Nigeria. The bad government policies have really put people under enormous stress. People are going through difficult times. People are suffering as in real time. People are not able to meet up with their individual targets, and the cost of living is quite exorbitant. So today, I feel very sad, and I was going through a lot of people's comments and people hardship. I spoke with a friend, and I could understand what people are going through. I have my own family in Nigeria. I could understand what they are really going through. I was thinking about this all through the night, and I decided that I make this contribution, as one of the ways of showing duty of care. Um, we'll have to look at some of the things that causes us stress. One of them is financial stress. Most of the stress we have around the world, or most of the stress people go through, majority of them are because of finance. It could be either hardship like this, poor government policies, or it could also be poor management skill by the individual. You know how to manage your finance very well and make sure that you're able to use your money very well. For example, you find out that when we are in situations like this, you have to make drastic changes to make ends meet. For example, if you have children who go to school in a certain school, and you're not able to afford the cost of maintaining them in that school, and the situation has really changed, you have to pull them out. Sometimes most of us go into this financial stress because we want to maintain status. We want to be like other people. Maybe perhaps you have your neighbors taking their children to a certain school, and you want to make sure you go to that school. So many people have this competition kind of lifestyle because you want to be like other people. You want to take your children to certain school, or your children have been in that school, but now you've lost your job and you're not able to foot the bills. I mean, for you to save yourself that stress, you have to think outside the box. You don't have to do things because you just want to maintain a status that's going to keep you sleepless nights, a status that, I mean, before you pay the school fees, you have to go through a lot. Stress is very real. Stress is one of the things that make people get into a lot of problems, both physical and mental. It could lead to a lot of diseases. We're going to talk about it. We'll look at sometimes people also live in highbrow areas. You don't own your own house, and you're still paying rent. I mean, if you're not able to maintain a certain rent where you live, I mean, you have to move to somewhere else, something smaller, because this is one of the ways to manage stress. You can't keep yourself where you cannot maintain, and you only think about how to pay your bills all through the night, all through the day. For how long? People should just get out of competition, because I mean, we need to live first before we can achieve. No dead person achieves anything. The moment you are dead, you are gone. So the mindset here is, how do you survive? How do you live? How do you keep yourself alive? Because anyone that is alive has the possibility of meeting something good in the future. Why do you have to put yourself under stress? Why do you have to live in a highbrow area you can't maintain? What happens if you leave? Go to somewhere cheaper for you to pay. I mean, you don't own anybody. That is life for you. Because when this stress accumulates, it can lead to a lot of things. I'm talking from point of experience. My mom had partial stroke because of too many stress. She has to struggle to make ends meet for the children. And that is the message I'm bringing today. So why do you have to live in a place you cannot afford to pay? Why don't you move? Save yourself that stress so that you can keep living while you keep planning. It's about strategy. You can't maintain one strategy forever. Most of the times, the strategy is no longer working. You have to re-strategize, go back to drawing board. So that is about financial stress. One we have to look at is relationship stress. This is really affecting a lot of our women, the ladies. You can kill yourself. You can't continue to think about getting married or not getting married. That puts a lot of people under stress. Oh, I'm 40 years. Oh, I'm 35 years. Oh, I'm 37 years. I'm not yet married. I mean, you're putting yourself under undue stress. I mean, you can think about it, but you don't have to put yourself under overdrive. You don't have to stress yourself. All you need to do is keep being the best of yourself. Keep doing what you know you can do best. Keep living, keep planning, keep achieving. That is the most important thing. Sometimes you see people in marriage talking about, I haven't had children. Oh, people are talking about me. Nobody is talking about you in real sense. I've been in that shoes before. So these are simple things. These are psychological. You may be thinking that people are talking about you, but in real sense, nobody is talking about you. Nobody cares. I mean, a few people might talk about you based on our cultural beliefs and our cultural relationship, maybe your mother-in-law and stuff like that, people from the villages. I mean, avoid people who put you under stress. Avoid conversations that put you under stress. If you have this, if you know that this person talks about this kind of things and these people can induce stress, avoid those people. That's what you need to do. Life is very, very important. Life is number one over everything. People who have most of the monies today, most of the content creators, many of them 2 years ago, 10 years ago, we are nobody. Most of them, we are struggling on the streets, selling articles. But today, you see, Facebook is paying. Most of them are millionaires. I mean, they couldn't believe it. That is how life is. You have to live before you achieve. You can't continue to kill yourself thinking about you've got baby, you don't have baby. You're thinking about you've got husband, you don't have husband. Even people who are married, some of them who are into toxic relationships are not getting it easy. So, I mean, it is not rosy anywhere. All you need to do is be the best of yourself, do the best for yourself, try to solve your problem the way that it should be solved. Get your medical updates going, get all the medical advice, do the best you could do, pray about it, and move on. Everything happens when it wants to happen. That is how life is. I'm telling you this today because your life is most important than everything. I mean, you can't mortgage your joy. You can't mortgage your life because you want to achieve certain thing. How about if you die? Nobody is promised tomorrow. How about if you die? If I die today, chasing this. So what happens? You have to live before you get. So these are some of the things that put us under stress. You talk about job-related stress, especially abroad. We are living in abroad. Most of us with our Nigerian thinking faculty, Nigerian factor, you want to do many things back home. You get yourself involved in 2, 3, 4 jobs. I mean, it is good to hustle. It is good to make money. It is good to make ends meet. I totally agree. I do that also. But again, you don't do anything too much and you don't do anything at the expense of your life or your health. How can you be doing 5 jobs? How can you be doing 4 jobs? When do you have to rest? I mean, what is the meaning of making the whole world? You don't have life, you don't have good health to enjoy it. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? You can do 2 jobs, perhaps 3 jobs, depending on how how these jobs come. It could be weekends, it could be evenings, but I mean, you must make out time to rest. You make out time to unwind. We can't kill ourselves. We have to make our time to breathe. We have to make our time to sleep. We have to make our time to relax because nobody is promised tomorrow. we have today, and we have to make best out of it. So stress is very real. Don't kill yourself for anything. Don't take very prolonged job work durations. Somebody will do 12 hours job for 1 week. How? Do you want to leave, or do you want to break down? Because you're chasing money. You want to buy house. You want to build this. You want to get, I mean, for how long do you have to leave? So you can't be taking extended work durations at the expense of your own life and your own health, because you are putting your health and your life on the line. So those things can increase your stress. The more you get the money, the less life you have. The more you get the money, the less life you have. I mean, you try to strike a good balance. That's what we are talking about here. I'm not against you making good money. I'm not against you meeting up your targets, but don't do that in the expense of your life. We talk about childbearing. Yes, you have you will see two categories of people. I don't really like to make this comparison, but for the purpose of knowledge, I'm going to do that. The rich and the poor. I'm not saying that I'm not poor. I'm still poor because I still have a lot of problems. Okay, I'm not rich, so I'm not trying to castigate the poor. I'm still among the poor. You see the rich who have fewer children, maybe 2, 3, 4 children. But you see the poor having 6, 8 children, 5 children, 7 children, and you still know that you have less resources. You don't think about it. You only think about, oh, now God they give pikin. But you end up suffering, going far and beyond to cater for these children, to feed them. That puts you under untold hardship. Having too many children is part of our stress in Africa, in most of developing world. Because it's not about bringing these children in this world. It's about catering for them, having the manpower and the resources to give them the best you can. Imagine when you have 5, 6 children going to private schools. What again do you have left for you? What again do you have to achieve? So we have to look into these issues. We have to understand how they work. It's not rocket science. It's not something, you don't need somebody to explain to you how it works. It's going to be before you. It's happening right there. Now let's talk about some of the risk of stress. First of all, let's start from the known to the unknown. Stress makes you grow older. Stress increases your aging. It's real. It's very simple. The more you stress, the more your life is on the line. Your health is on the line. You're going to grow older than your real age. When you look at some of your friends or some of your counterparts or some of your classmates who are subjected under stress, or by virtue of the kind of job they do or the kind of life they live, they look more older than their contemporaries who have a life. It's simple. We're not talking down on anybody, but that is how it is. So one of the factors is you're going to grow older. And you're going to have poor mental and poor physical performance, because you're going to get tired, you're going to get weak, you're going to get fatigued. You can get mentally fatigued, you can get mentally tired. Your mental capacity begins to go down. It begins to depreciate, Stress can even go as far as making you to have a poor sexual performance. It's true. I've got someone who finished his wedding, and he was talking to me, one of my pals, we were gisting. He was saying on his wedding night, he was not able to perform. He was so scared. And he talked about many things. I asked him one simple question, because I do this teaching and I read about this, and sometimes I have some of these experiences also. I asked him, how did you plan your wedding ceremony? Who did the logistics for you, coordination, went to market to buy things, went to purchase this, went to meet this, have this meeting, and all. He said he did everything himself. Almost everything. He ran around for everything. I said, that was why you were under stress. You overstretched yourself planning for the wedding. So it's real. So and I asked him what happened later when you go for honeymoon and spend like some days resting. He said, yeah, he picked up surprisingly. I said, that is it. Stress will break you down. All your system is just like a computer. When you have imputed a lot, when you have operated the computer in a way that the computer can't understand, or the computer get under stress, you have to reboot. That's why we have rebooting. You have to reboot or refresh. So that's what happens to us when we get involved in a lot of stress. Our body system begin to hang. They are no longer syncing the way they need to sync. So you talk about stress is linked to a lot of medical conditions. It could be linked to hypertension. It could link to high blood pressure. I mean hypertension. It could link to heart diseases. It could link to even stroke, depending on what is prevalent or other conditions that you have before. Stress can trigger them or make them get worse. So it can cause a lot of disorganization in your health performance. Then we look at death, because if you're overstressed, your body system is not working well, you're not living healthy, you could die if you don't have proper care. So let's talk about the most important thing. How can we manage this situation? One, get yourself out of competition. I mean, this is what I'm telling you. Get yourself out of any kind of competition, especially unhealthy competition. Who are you impressing? You want to live in Lekki because everybody's moving to Lekki. Can you afford it? For how long can you afford the bills? You want to drive a big car because your colleagues in the office are driving big car. You go and take a loan and buy a big car, a car that is a liability. I mean, get out of any unhealthy competition. No, that's number one. Number two, learn to plan your life. Learn to get a good sleep. Learn to get good rest. From medical advice, I mean, every adult needs about 8 hours sleep. But I know that's not possible in most times because of the life we live, the challenges we have. Even the doctors who gave this advice, many of them can't afford to have 8 hours sleep. That is true. But again, that's advisable if you can. But if you can, try as much as possible to get good sleep. Because the time you're sleeping, you are unwinding. Your body systems are coming back together to start afresh. You are refreshing. It helps you to rejuvenate. So get good sleep or get good rest. That's very, very important. Eat well. Eat well. Eating well is not eating expensive. It's not about eating all the junks, eating all the meat, eating all the chicken, eating all the eggs. No, try to eat well. Ensure that you've got the balanced diet. It could be little cheap things like fruits, vegetables. Okay, eat well and avoid taking work home. If your part of your job does not require you to work from home or to continue working from home, avoid it. Finish your job at work, because one true thing is, no matter how good you are replaceable when it comes to job. When it comes to work, you are replaceable, because I mean, every employer can replace anybody. It doesn't matter how good you are, because you too, you can decide to leave the employer to another place. So anybody is replaceable. It doesn't matter. So you must have to understand where your job starts and where your life starts. So do your job as the best you can. Put in the best because you are being paid. Finish your job. And if your contract does not require you to work from home, when your job ends, go home and take care of yourself. Again, avoid alcohol, smoking. This can increase your stress. Too much caffeine or even coffee. Make sure if you must take coffee, moderate it, because they can increase some of your body energies, or the way your body reacts, your reactions. They can increase some of them and put them under pressure. So ensure that you also think less of your problems. I know we can't stop thinking of our problems, but think less of them, especially the ones you don't have control over. Think less of your problem, Because if you die before your problem, then you have not solved your problem. If this particular message is very, very valuable to you, please share it so that others will learn. Thank you very much. Until I come your way next time.